And we are live.
Whoa.
Not Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the November 4, 2023 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Saturdays on YouTube and various other platforms, or catching up with us live. And we ask that you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy. Nice is in the word Saint spelled backwards. And with me today, as always, the lovely First Lady J. We got Brother Floyd X and the infamous El Pooh. What's going on with you, First Lady J?
Nothing much. Just enjoying my Saturday. How are you fellas doing? And I'm enjoying my music from El Poo.
That's right. Good looking, good looking. He's enjoying that liquor, that reciprocal, reciprocity. What's going on with you, Mr. Floyd X?
chilling, man. Just here, get ready to get this show going. Just here.
That's
As
right,
soon as
El
the show
Pooh.
starts, I got this dog that want to start scratching on the door now. The whole time we've been sitting here, nothing going on. Now he want to scratch and bark.
Disrespectful.
Jeez.
I know how it is. El Pooh, what it do?
Well, after the Friday Night Live, I'm on the Triple H. Happy to not have a hangover.
So that's good. That's an accomplishment. That's what scared me away from Friday Night Live. It was real hard to wake up to do the Focus Up show the next morning. And let's address our brother Walk. Brother Walk is taking a break from the show. So he'll be out indefinitely for a bit, but you'll still be able to catch him on Thursdays, maybe on what's that called? Sex Talk with Walk on Thursdays at 9 p.m. So shout out to our brother who is still here. He'll probably be making some random ignorant comments, but shout out to our brother. That's right, registered in a community near you. So let's get to the get. What's the first in the news topic?
First thing we're going to talk about is Mr. Matthew Perry, the actor from Friends. He had his funeral was yesterday on Friday. He died last Saturday. Where's this picture of him at? Y'all have any fond memory? Anyone of y'all was watchers of this show?
I didn't really watch that show. I caught episodes here and there. I thought it was funny. For the most part, I remember him being on the show with one of my favorite actors, Bruce Willis. I think that was called the Last 9 Yards or something like that. So
the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards, exactly. So
that was a good movie. That was a good movie.
All right. So Walk says, "I'm right here, Ninja." Post up his comment. But yeah, so that's right. There we go. There he is. But yeah, this is kind of tough. And he's about my age, so we're coming to understanding that people at our age are just dropping off. Now we'll find out more details about how it is. Drowning in your own hot tub or jacuzzi. There's probably something going on there, but rest in peace.
It has something to do with drugs, and more drugs. The topic of today's show. So we know drugs is killing a lot of Americans, a lot of people.
Let's put a allegedly on there, or we're speculating on that because we're not sure.
So far, he was negative for 2 drugs.
All right, so that's some.
He was negative for fentanyl and something else I forgot so far, but they still have to wait for other tests to come back.
It was probably fentanyl and cocaine. We don't know about the marijuana and the ecstasy and the Xanax and all the other stuff that's out there.
Yeah, drugs are a terrible thing.
We'll ask Kodak Black because he pretty much knows about all these drugs.
We're gonna find about him. We're gonna find out about him not too long off, but we'll come back to him. Anybody else got any fond memories or anything to say about Brother Matthew Perry?
Rest in peace, because I don't even know who he is.
I didn't start watching Friends until after COVID, like late night going to bed, and so I got a lot of good laughs off of it. You know, a lot of people didn't like the show, but then there were a lot that loved it. I got late night laughs off of him.
I could honestly say I've never ever watched not one episode of Friends.
Me neither.
But I've seen every Seinfeld. I've seen every episode of Seinfeld.
And we don't have anything about here, but I should bring up the Bob Knight died as well. Now this was an abrasive coach. This dude is a legendary coach. He coached Isaiah Thomas, a lot of legends. You know, this guy, he was absolutely crazy, but he was successful and good at his job. You know, so
wasn't he the one that used to throw the chairs and everything?
Yes, that's right. He's the guy. He's the chair thrower.
Was he the one that say when he died, bury him upside down so the kiss his?
Yeah, so everybody can kiss his ass. Yeah, exactly. That brother, you know, I always forget that there's this one story, and I don't remember it was him or Parcells, but they're kind of pieces of the same pod, where literally he was taking a dump and he like walked out with stuff on his tissue and said, "We played like this."
Wow.
I mean, that's just, you know, so that one of them coaches, and I for some reason I feel like it was him and not Parcells, but it could have been Parcells. So my bad if it was, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's tough. So what we got? What's the next in the news topic? Father and son killed. Yo, this is a tragic situation that happened in Brooklyn. You know, it was one of these neighbor situations. These people in apartments. As I understand it, it was a person that was a above apartment, a person below apartment. So the person on the left was the person from below. So he's been complaining a lot about noises, and the people that he's been complaining about saying a lot of times there weren't any noises. But suffice it to say, he was really on one, and he came up there, and they had a confrontation. So first he was talking with first I guess the father came out with no shirt on, and then he ran back in. Then he started talking to the mother, and then the son came out, and then the father came out with some scissors. Now in that picture, you notice he's holding them 6 scissors in a very kind of crazy way. Now the dude, once he got to that point, he was very confrontational and in his face. Then the dude pulled out the gun. I don't know if his wife was trying to pull him away. He's trying to run away, but the dude like shoots him in the back. The son kind of runs up. He shoots him. Then he walks over and finishes off the dad. So you're talking about this woman is seeing her husband and her son murdered right in front of her face, and all because of noise. Crazy. What you got to say about that, First Lady?
It's traumatizing, sad. It seemed like unnecessary deaths took place. The father, I get he trying to defend his family. Running up on someone with the weapon, not knowing what they have, you know, that was not a smart move for him to do. But I get that he was trying to protect his family, but the man was actually talking from a distance. And I feel like they could have talked from a distance or just went back in the house and ignored him completely, left him standing out there. So I feel sorry for the family. My heart goes out to the mom to watch her husband and her child get murdered like that. It was a senseless double murder.
Brother Floyd X, what you got to say about this?
Man, I'm just harping on the craziness of living in apartments, and you know, I understand that some of us we live in apartments because of the cost, the economic cost, and things like. But you got to be cautious living in apartments because the proximity of people, you crowd people together, and it's gonna be more explosive. and somebody just frustrated because you're constantly living under somebody and mad at somebody, just constantly stepping and feet knocking, and then you coming up there. They said it's been going on for a year. The complaints about the noise, the police, I believe, been out there like 12 times, and they always say that he was just complaining about they was just walking. The noise, he was saying they doing this, but in truth, all they was doing was walking around. So in the end, I guess he got fed up and went up there with a gun and shot and killed them. And then he eventually got in a confrontation with the police, and the police killed him. It's just a sad story all around. And we all got to be mindful and control our angers and be able to talk to each other respectfully. Because I don't know if the father, was being disrespectful, but he shouldn't have came out with a scissors in his hand. And that's not to justify nothing, but you got to be respectful when interacting with people, especially if they live in close proximity to you.
Absolutely. What you got to say about that, Pooh?
Well, I got a couple of things to say. Well, first of all, you can see the man was standing up there like he was waiting for them or waiting for something to happen. So obviously it was a threat made, or somebody said something to him for him to be standing there waiting for him. So when they came, he knew it was going to be some type of confrontation. And then this man came with a weapon, scissors. I don't care what it was a weapon. And you don't bring some scissors to any man if you ain't ready for what he got. And he got the ultimate. He got that gun pulled on him, and he got, unfortunately, blown down. His son got blown down, and luckily his wife didn't get blown down, or whoever that was, wife, mother, whoever that female was. But I live in some apartments, and it's knuckleheads acting a fool all the time. And I had to learn to constrain myself and be like, you know what, just let a lot of this go, because if it goes too far, something like that can happen either on my side or somebody taking my life, or vice versa, whichever way. So you have to be careful. And I gotta say another thing: Brooklyn's in the house.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you have to.
So we got a comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got a comment from Mr. Tony Boyd. He says you don't hear any other race doing that to each other. I disagree. We do hear other races going through the same situation,
all the time.
It's just that the proximity. It's all about proximity. That's who people rob. That's who people kill. That's who people get into conflicts with. It's all about proximity. So, truth be told, that's not accurate, Mr. Tony Boyd. Would Jay Walk say block this joker? I'm trying to hold it down for Walk. Block Tony Boyd.
Yeah, it's you always need to show people respect. It's not just the issue about the threat or what they're coming at. It's just that when you yell at a person, people tend to tune out what you got to say. If you want to be heard, the best way to present what you need to present is in a way that's not going to trigger them. That's just going to be humble and address them and just be an adult, get in and get out of the situation. You should be able to communicate what you need to do without showing your ass and threatening somebody and making them feel they need to do something. And in that video, the first thing he does, he goes running all up in that dude's face, and he's towering over that dude. And to the dude that shot him, you see him when he first comes up, he like adjusts whatever in his whatever, but then he puts both of his hands out there, so he's not out there to shoot. At least in the beginning, but once it goes to that point, he goes way beyond. I mean, he's absolutely in the wrong to do all of that stuff. He could have pulled it out. Whatever. I mean, the bottom line is once he killed everybody, he went way too far, and I'm glad that they got him. So,
well, not being there and knowing the situation, you don't know how far it was before it started. You don't know if this man made a threat to him. He came with some scissors. He pulled the weapon first.
Oh yeah. Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah! Oh no! Absolutely.
Like I said, the man was standing out there waiting for him. So he might have said, "Look, I'm coming up there, and I'm gonna whoop de whoop de." You don't know what he said.
Hey, show that picture. Hey, Floyd, show this picture.
Let me see. Let me grab.
So now mind you, he did come up there with scissors, but look how he's holding them. I mean, it's still technically a threat, but you know what I'm saying. This is different. Now I understand. I'm telling you right now, if I have a gun on me, we're not gonna have a fight. because I can't risk you having a gun. So that's, we need to keep our distance and talk. Once you have a gun on you, the situation changes. So make no mistake about it. But he executed, and again, I don't know if he was getting threats from the son. I don't know what the situation is, but the bottom line is he murked that whole family. There was some penalties and consequences and repercussions that he was going to have to deal with, and he ultimately ended up dying by cops. So that's a tragic situation. Most tragic for the mother that survived.
Rest in peace.
So,
It's like that.
rest in peace. So we on what's our next in the news topic?
To speak on the Hamas-Israel war that continues.
Yeah,
People still dying, people still getting killed. They still making their way into the Gaza and the other places and continue pounding. I saw on the wrong screen. I saw on the what do you call that? The NPR. They was talking about how the pounding, they dropped more bombs in one day than the U.S. dropped on Afghanistan during that war.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
During that war, they dropped more pounds of bombs in one day on Hamas, on Palestine, or the Gaza.
Yeah, Gaza.
In one day.
That's the thing about it. It's the collateral damage. Is and that's the thing about it. I see a lot of my friends on Facebook complaining about, United States is allowing Israel to do all of this stuff. And you got to understand that Israel is a sovereign nation that's doing what it's doing. United States there's really not much for United States to do about as far as allying. This is what's going on. As far as I see, Biden and a lot of people are like, hey, you need to, we should probably do something about ceasefire. You need to be concerned about the civilians that are getting, the collateral damage. And also you need to be concerned about basically creating more terrorists. You're so worried about killing the terrorists that did what they did against you. You're going to be creating them by all these innocents that are being caught up in all of this stuff. So it's a cycle that's basically, rinse, wash, repeat type of situation. But you got something to say about? Oh,
I guess that argument would be, you're not doing for them what you're doing for Ukraine. When Russia invaded Ukraine, you gave them all that support, this money, these defenses and everything, and you're doing nothing about Gaza. It's like the world that turned its back on Gaza. That's what they're trying to say. That's the point I think they're trying to make.
Well, but you got to understand that the difference between Gaza and Ukraine is that Ukraine is an ally. Ukraine is a quote unquote free world. So what a lot of the reason why the U.S., again, I'm not trying to speak or justify them, but the position is that if you're trying to inspire countries to be free nations and to function like you, and you have this brotherly relationship, when someone who's not like that invades on them, then you're going to, offer this type of assistance. Whereas Gaza, I don't think they had that type of relationship with. Well, they do have that type of relationship with Israel, and that's the conflicted thing because the present presidency believes in a two-state Israel type situation, so they actually do have empathy and concern for Palestine, whereas those other cats, they do not. You got something to say about
should Israel be brought up on war crimes?
Probably should. I mean, it's not okay to kill people it's not okay to kill innocents just to get at somebody you need to get. This reminds me of that whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing where it's like, if there's 10 people there, are you going to wipe this whole thing out? Is it if there's 9 people there? So you got this whole example. Like if there's one person there, it's never okay to kill innocents to get at someone who did you wrong. It's always your burden and responsibility to just get the person that did you wrong.
Well, you asked First Lady, did she have anything to say? You got anything to say?
I answered already.
Okay. All right. Well,
I didn't hear about Tomas.
I didn't like this.
Oh no, that's what you said. No.
I was reading the comments at the same time.
Well, let me
know. Boyd has a lot to say.
Yeah, Boyd has been making a lot of comments. You want to put?
He's been putting them up there. He's just saying they shooting up the place. I mean, we get that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got you. I hear what you're saying.
I'm gonna say this. It's like the same thing with that. The analogy I'm gonna use is that gun and the scissors situation. They did shoot a few bombs over there. I ain't gonna say a few, a whole lot of bombs over into Israel. But look what Israel is doing. they're crushing them with a gun compared to a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Again, it's no excuse for innocence.
Hey, I
But
want
also,
to put up. I want to put up some numbers real quick. At least 9,061 Palestinians have been killed in the war, mostly women and minors. More than 32,000 people have been wounded, the Gaza Health Ministry said on Thursday. This is according to the AP News. Printed this up. I had the numbers for the the Israelis too. The Israeli. Let me see if I got that number. Nope, that ain't it. I didn't upload it, but I had the number. It was like 300 plus Israeli Defense Force soldiers have been killed since so you can see the imbalance of what's going on here with 9,000 people. That's what they're claiming. So we know it's been thousands and many lives been lost during this war.
Yeah.
and the reality is that the real issue is the innocence. I don't, I'm not going to sit here and say that if my enemy kills 10 of me and I kill 1,000 of them, I'm not going to be caring about imbalance. But as far as the innocents that have nothing to do with this, if one of them dies, it's a problem.
Well, they also the Israelis are bombing hospitals, shelters, ambulances. It's just it's out of control. But hey, they got
Also,
to do what they gotta do.
I want to stand on what I said last week as far as Drake and DJ Khaled need to be able to speak on it because, again, DJ Khaled is the voice for Palestinians. He has a large platform and has the opportunity to express the sentiment. He needs to do his due diligence and find out what the truth is and speak it. You can't just sit and be quiet. If you're the only Palestinian that most people gonna ever know, you should be able to talk on it and say something. You know what I'm saying? Say this needs to happen or that, or make a plea for the ones without voices. You should be able to be a voice to those people.
So we finished with this topic, or we're going to go on to the next thing?
Well, the next one says Trump, but I don't know. Is there any Trump news that to be talked about?
There's always Trump news. I mean, now his children are being forced to testify, and that's got him going super crazy. It's the irony is this none of this is all I got to say is Hunter Biden. Don't sit here and bring somebody's kids into something and then get to griping about your kids being brought into something. So we'll see how this plays out. I think that some of the stuff they need to let go. Stop trying to get him to not be on the ballot. That all you're gonna do is fuel him more. I always thought you could write in people's names anyway, so it probably shouldn't even matter. We'll see what's gonna happen behind this. Some of the stuff he's not gonna be able to escape. Some of the stuff he'll probably skirt, but he needs to lose on the merits. That's what kind of really needs to be done. And scarily, Biden might not be that guy. So Walk's prediction may very well play out. And we'll see how that works. What you got to say? You look like you about to say something, El Poo.
Man, this man does nothing but complain, says everything is unfair. I'm being treated unfairly. They're politically charging me. It's all political. It's a witch hunt. He doesn't speak on, he has no platform at all.
Hey, El Poo, I agree with you. It is a witch hunt, but he's a witch. He's an actual witch. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue on.
I mean, he says he's going to make America great again. And then the other thing he says is he's going to trek on religious freedoms, ban Muslims and anybody that's not Judo-Christian or from the Judo-Christian religion. Any other religion is not allowed in America. The immigrants have to go. That's all he stands on. Then you can cheat as much as you want. That's what he's trying to. Well, he can cheat as much as he wants.
And the thing about it is, he's, a lot of people are sort of like, oh, Biden, Trump, they're basically two sides of the same coin. I don't care, whatever. Again, you bring up a really good point. He's basically saying that, if you're not a Jew or a Christian, your religious freedom don't matter here. So a lot of these people that are not that, that think that just by abstaining from voting, you're basically lending power to the other side. You know, you talk about those dudes that need to speak up about Palestine and Israel. You're talking about DJ Khaled and Drake. You know, you need to speak up about, you know, what's going to impact you, have real impact on you with your vote. So that's you need to speak at the voting booth. So do what you need to do. You got something to say about this, First Lady?
Well, I got some help.
Did I catch you off?
I don't care for entertaining Trump too much.
Let me
I
also say this
so
too.
over him right now.
If the man keeps talking about the First Amendment, freedom of religion is part of the First Amendment.
Yeah, you know, and you know, this is actually a good point too. He's speaking their language. I mean, and the thing about it is, again, all Republicans aren't crazy. It's just this section of them that's like really, really nuts. And for some reason, they're giving them all the power. And that's what you got this whole MAGA movement. You got like Marjorie Taylor and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't see any change happening anytime soon. So this is the danger. When you talk about one party versus the other, we can have that discussion. I don't identify with either, but one is clearly worse to me right now. So is that all in the news? Or hey, we're gonna talk about we're talking about people having a voice and saying something. You want to bring up that Taraji Henson thing?
Let's see, yeah.
Oh yeah, they have a lot to say.
Yeah. So so actress Taraji P Henson says she's done with American men claiming they've all been ran through. Now, to me, this is an example of maybe saying something that you shouldn't have said, because now you've given it way too much life. This is a very disrespectful thing to throw American men under the bus because of your small, minute sample of exposure of what you had to deal with. And she's probably not dating regular dudes anyway. She's probably dating other celebrities. I don't know. I'm not judging her for that. You know, I'm just saying that, you know, this is not a statement that you can make. You can't throw the rest of us under the bus because of your personal experiences. This is that skern woman, you know, syndrome in big display. I would say what you got to say about this, First Lady. I'm gonna come back to you because this is kind of touching on the guys. Listen, hey, El Pooh, what you got to say about this?
I mean, what is she talking about? Older men? Because a young man that's 19, 20, 21 years old, he can't be ran through, you know? Just because you damn near 50 or over 50, you ran through, woman.
What you got to say about this Brother Floyd X?
He leaned back.
Come on, come with it. Matter of fact, wait, let me get you ready for it.
He leaned back and like, whoop.
I didn't do it right.
Here's the thing with Taraji P Henson is a beautiful sister. I think she's beautiful. I don't understand why she can't find a man here in America and just gonna complain that American men are ran through. We all know that's a false statement. Like El Pooh say, the younger brother, they're young, and his older men also who are not ran through. Not all of us is just running around chasing panties and trying to do as much as we can. There's a lot of good men out here, and they looking for good women. If you're not being a good woman, it don't matter about the how rich you are or the quality. It's about the attitude. It's about the appearance. Those are the things that's going to get you a good man. So don't just complain that good men are ran through. They're here. They're just looking for quality women.
That's right. So what you got to say about that, First Lady?
But I have to say is I'm disappointed at her statement because that's kind of like almost the opposite of men saying that they're giving up on black women because of this, and that. And there's still a lot of good black women out here. And I don't think Taraji is ugly or whatnot, but I don't think she's no Miss America either, because there are times when she looks like she has Down syndrome and other stuff going on. Yeah, so when I say, you know, she might have that makeup, but you guys heard what I said about makeup covers who you really are. It's just a clown. So without that makeup, she has a lot of different looks with and without her makeup. So I don't feel like she should be making that statement. And she can't put all American men in one circle. Like at least give it a C or a U. Don't complete the circle with I give up with all. American men, because I can't stand when men say they give up on black women.
She should have when she was in Baby Boy during that era. That's when she should have found her a man and stuck
Ouch.
with him.
See, and Tony Boyd it's attack on passport bros. Yeah, this the passport bros, the dudes that are done with American women and going out and getting them foreign sisters, and there you got Watts talking about block Tony Boyd. Right on cue. So yeah, but yeah, this is
She
kind of
might, I don't mean to cut you off. She may be one of those that want to control the man and can't do so. And that might be an issue. She's not giving us, from what I'm reading, I don't see enough reason for why she made that statement. Like, you should have gave more, said, these are the reasons why.
I've
and
seen.
and in fairness to us, we don't have the full context of what was said, but this is the danger of putting those sound bites out there. And that's why I say DJ Khaled and Drake have to be very careful what they put out there, because otherwise people will be running with these wrong takes on what they're trying to communicate. So that's why it's dangerous just to speak just for the sake of speaking. You need to make sure that what you're saying is the correct thing to be putting out there in the ether.
And perhaps she needs to leave America since she's done with American men.
Ouch.
You're gonna become a passport sister.
Yeah, but
I got one more thing to say about her. That
don't drink and drive, stay home and go.
God
Wait,
damn.
where is
hey, but for real, that she need to sit down.
Yeah, that was a violation. It's a violation. But I still got love and respect for Taraji, and I'm gonna support the sister. I just don't support that comment, that statement. So is this a good break time for you, brother Floyd X?
We're gonna break into the main topic because I ain't got no commercials for you.
Drugs. That's what we're gonna talk about.
Let me try to find at least one commercial. Let me see. Let me just do it. This right here. The Focus Up Show. We have crowned ourselves as the king of podcasting. We got beef, bring it on.
And that's Saturday at 9 a.m. Right. On YouTube and various other platforms. Like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
So let's get right. Tony Boyd said what I was about to say. But yeah, shout out to Sex Talk Walk on 9 p.m.'s Brother Walk, still a founding member and a continuing participant of the Focus Up family. So shout out to Brother Walk. And he's still here in the comments. So if I say something outrully enough, he'll probably come in with some random ignorance. So yeah, so now we're gonna talk about this drug situation. You want to set that up? You want me to set that up, Brother Floyd X?
Yeah, drugs, and more drugs. That is what the hip hop culture is pushing. And it started out this topic came up because of the Drink Champ interview with Kodak Black, and we're gonna talk about him a little later. I like Kodak Black as an artist, but I think he is failing as a human being, respectfully, because of his constant high and off the drug and offhand comments and ridiculous antics, continue to go into jail. I think he is failing as a person. But to get back to the drugs, we have a large number of rap artists who have died from drugs, and they continue to push drugs in the music. Every day, drugs is being pushed in music. We got started off with Mr. DMX, most everybody's favorite rapper. He died of a drug overdose, cocaine overdose that triggered a heart attack. He died, 50 years old. Then we got the Mac Miller. A lot of young people was inspired, and they had a lot of love for Mac Miller. He died, and the drug dealers that sold him the drugs got sentenced to jail. Legends like Coolio, you know what I'm saying? A great hip hop artist back in the day, Fantastic Joy Voyage and the great songs Gangsta's Paradise. He died. He was found in a bathroom. He went to the bathroom and killed over and died. Fentanyl, heroin, and methamphetamines. He's gone. The female rapper, what's the lady name? Gangsta Boo. She overdosed off of fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol. Was found dead on her mother's porch. Drugs, and then they continue to rap about it. What do y'all have to say about this?
It's crazy. You know, when I think about our era, it was okay to do certain things like weed and stuff like that, but for the most part, we would sell the other stuff. At least that was like the thing that, as far as what was acceptable. And this generation is fully embraced using of all things. You're talking about with the mollies, with everything that this generation is sort of like went back to like the 60s as far as with drug use. And there's real repercussions to this type of stuff. I mean, you know, when you're young, you have a better chance at surviving doing these type of adventures, but I mean, still, young people still die from it. It's a terrible habit to start. It's a terrible way to live. It's, you know, just when we talk about, I don't know, to me, I want to talk about the Kodak Black. When I looked at that video on Drink Champs, I saw a guy that, I mean, I couldn't even understand it. We all talk about mumble rappers. I mean, he was just mumble talking, and it was sad to look at. I mean, he was just out of there, and I couldn't see why anybody would even want to function like that. I need to be able to maintain my faculties, to process, to analyze things, to safely maneuver, to do what I need to do. That's why I can't co-sign that whole drug dynamic. What you got to say about that, First Lady?
Well, I have to say, it sounds like kind of like history repeats itself. These may be rappers that you guys are talking about, but think about all the R&B singers that we have lost to drug overdose and alcohol use. It is for our people, especially our people of color. It's just a continuous thing that keeps going on. It's not something that's just starting or just coming out to the eyes of everyone. It's just different types of drugs, but it's like we're going in a circle, doing a 360, just keep doing the same thing over and over. And like he said, it's been promoted in songs more, but I see the same pattern with our people, sadly to say. From R&B to rappers, there's no difference.
And rock stars. I mean, this is the Focus Up show. We focus on Black people, so that's why we're talking about that. But the reality is that that's going across the full spectrum. You know, white people have been dealing with their fentanyl and meth and what's the big thing that they've been concerned about, or they're feeling about the Focuz and stuff like that. So this generation is dealing with a lot of stuff. But I'm sorry, what you got to say about this, Elpu?
Yeah, to add on to what First Lady was saying, but yeah, to add on to what you were saying too, it's not just R&B and hip hop, it's rock. You know, you got Hendrix, you got Elvis, and you got a plethora of other, entertainers that actually died behind drugs and stuff like that. But it's just really sad because I tried looking at that Drink Champs interview with Kodak Black. I must have got through like 5 minutes of it. I couldn't understand anything the boy was saying, and it's really, really, really sad. It's so sad. And I heard y'all talking about it. Like you said, somebody said he had actually spit up a loogie right on the floor.
In the studio, he like literally while they're talking, he turns around and just spits, and they're like, "Hey, yo, whoa!" You know, it's like he act like he's like at the park or something. You know, outside on the block. I mean, this is not the type of behavior that's okay. You know, this is a professional studio. Someone's got to clean that up. So it's disrespectful. It's just a lot of stuff. But I mean, that dude was super out of it. Now, in all fairness, the show is called Drink Champs, and it goes on a long time, so people will get tipsy. You know, so they do encourage that after a fashion, but I mean, he was just there's one thing about tipsy, and then just out of your mind, just you know, in the stratosphere like he was. It was sad. Now, I expect to be hearing about, you know, sadly, him being an overdose type situation probably in the near future. Hopefully not. Hey, I hope you win, brother.
But when they started the show, they were saying the man has hit after hit after hit after hit. They were talking about he got all these songs. I'm like, how does he have hits? And I can't even understand what he's saying. You know, when he first started, he wasn't even drinking. He was like, I'm like, what the hell did he say?
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, and another thing too, is some other rappers / podcasters out there that be on the show. Toe up. You can tell they be high. Now, let me also say this too. Let me put this out as a caveat. We do the Friday Night Live show, and I get toasted, but that's the whole point. We stay home and we actually get on this podcast, and we encourage you not to get out there in these streets and drink and drive. So you can just stay home, go live with us, and that way you don't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? So we doing a community service with that. But you know, that's a whole different thing. I just needed to say that because
responsibly with alcohol as opposed to these super dangerous drugs. I mean, alcohol, obviously, anything in excess is dangerous, but
True.
Those things are dangerous in minute quantity. So you talk about fentanyl, you talk about cocaine, you talk about the hard stuff. This stuff is terrible things to start. You know,
and if you want to do some drugs, I encourage you to smoke marijuana. That's the only thing
much better.
No further than that.
Much better alternative. Much better alternative.
Great encouragement. Woo, woo. Yes, sure.
Legal.
Ahead.
Legal. Hey, it's legal.
Wow.
Well, tell us about it,
When
First
you
Lady.
drive
We shouldn't
home-
be doing we shouldn't be doing.
Say nope to dope and ugh to drugs because God doesn't like it in heaven above. That's what you're supposed to promote.
What was you about to say, Brother Floyd X?
I want to drive home the point about the drugs. We got Pimp C. He tragically lost his life to drinking that codeine and promethazine, and then right behind him, DJ Screw, who's considered a South legend. DJ Screw died from the same drugs that Pimp C, that promethazine and codeine drink, where
Just
people
sipping on
get
that
double
syrup.
cups and pour this stuff in there. Yeah. And then sadly we lost Shock G, another hip hop legend who died from fentanyl, ethanol, and meth. The old dirty bastard, Wu-Tang Clan. He just killed over and died in the studio. The list goes on. And then I want to address or bring up the point.
Hey, Michael Jackson.
Say what?
I said Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, exactly. Yeah.
Some of those I was referring to earlier when I was saying it's just history repeating itself.
Yeah. And I mean, we continue to do it. I mean, it's getting so bad that it's reported that the rapper Burna Boy, I heard his music, but I don't really listen to him. But they say that he turned down a $5 million Dubai gig because he won't be allowed to smoke weed. Could you imagine turning down $5 million because you can't smoke weed in the country?
That's stupid.
It sounds insane. But I mean, it's people that drugs is a major part of their lives, and they're dying. It's killing everybody. Everybody's dying. What that dude say? Hide your wife, hide your children, hide your husband.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. Think about it. It's like, and you're spending money on this. That's one of the things that kills me. You're spending money, you're taking money. Now, obviously, these rich people, they got money to burn, but most of the people that are doing this stuff, you know, you have a finite function, finances that you're working with, and you're spending this money on something that's killing you. I mean, so you know, it's be better, be smarter. Don't even start. That's the real problem. Because once you get addicted, that's a whole nother problem. I have sympathy that for anybody who's dealing with any form of addiction, whether it's cigarettes, whether whatever. Once you get addicted, it's a whole different problem. Don't start. That's the really thing. That don't start. But you know, I'm just the old man telling you old man stuff.
Let me give a shout out to Big Frank Entertainment. The brother asked, but then Again, do you guys ever think possibly some of these celebrities were poisoned as well? I know drugs are poison, but you never know.
I mean,
So,
that's true. I don't like to give weight to conspiracy theories, but the reality is, people do have real enemies. Real things happen like that. People poison people all the time. Husbands or wives poison husbands, and maybe vice versa. So none of that stuff is outside of the possibility. So hey, be careful when you go to the bar. Don't walk away from your drink. Don't do nothing like that. Always maintain your cup. You go to a house party, whatever. You maintain your source of where you're getting it and who has access to it, because people do stuff.
Yeah. And the new trend is bring your own drink to the club.
That's the best. Can you do that? I don't know if you can, but that would be smart. But so
let's not
oh yeah,
forget
Chris Cross. Yeah.
Chris Kelly, one half of Chris Cross. He overdosed on illegal drugs.
Yeah,
no, this
list goes on and on and on. You talk about Whitney Houston. I mean, you even talk about her daughter. I mean, it's the same type of situation where these people end up drowning in a bathtub, and if you drown in a bathtub or a hot tub, you had to have at least some type of medical emergency.
Well, it's the music industry. It might be a case of like Whitney Houston probably was killed off, like Sam Cooke was probably killed off, like your boy, the other R&B singer from back in Otis Redding was probably killed off.
Well,
because
Otis Redding didn't he? Oh yeah,
he died in a plane crash. Yeah, but it's questionable because this man was trying to take control of his publishing and his money and everything. But I don't know. Whitney Houston was worth a lot of money.
I want to address the Juice WRLD incident. From what I understand, they was on a private jet and the jet landed and the police were there to arrest him. And he thought it was smart to eat the drugs to try to hide it in the system. And that's how he died from it, because I guess the bags popped or something. But to the young people, it's not a smart idea. You probably seen it in some older movies where people put the drugs in their mouth trying to hide from the police, but don't do that. Don't do that. It's not smart.
Just say no to drugs.
All the drug promotion, is a negative. And the songs Future raps about doing drugs all day, but then says he really touches drugs. Is what he says in his real life.
People need to know alcohol is a drug too.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's levels of drug, but it's a drug, and for the most part, I mean, even just candy, sugar, all of this stuff, all these things that are not about, we talk about living to eat or eating to live type of situation. What you put in your body, whether you're smoking, eating, or drinking, has some type of impact in your body, and the most responsible way that you go about doing that will probably be the best for you in the long run, health wise. So, it's just a general functional good thing to be responsible and respectful and disciplined about what you ingest or expose yourself to.
Well, speaking on discipline, let's go to the Spare the Rod, Spoil the Child. Talk about disciplining these bad kids that's running around, and some of these parents need some discipline too.
Hey, maybe that's why they got on them drugs. That's something. This generation is really against corporal punishment, against any type of physical. Everything's about timeouts. Kids will call the police on you, and I always told my daughter, I was a person, I absolutely believe in corporal punishment, but I was fronting because I didn't want to hit my daughter, because I didn't want to normalize my daughter being hit by a man who said they loved her. So although I believed in spanking, I didn't want to be the person to spank her because she was a female, but I would absolutely convey that threat. And that's what I used to manipulate her and to get her to do the right thing, because that threat of violence is for real. But my position is that if my kid calls the police on me, I better not ever get out.
Yeah. Well, here's to my kids. Well, my kids already know because they already grown. But to my future kids and grandkids, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah, nah, I got you because my daughter and her new husband, you know, they're gonna have their kids, and I hear them talk about how they're planning to raise their kids, and I'm sitting there going, I don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm just letting you know. I ain't gonna just be trying to put my hands on people's kids and stuff like that, but I ain't gonna be tolerating too much crap. What you got to say about this, First Lady?
Whoop that kid. There's a difference between spanking, whipping, and beating. So, you know, that's one thing. I feel like if a child acts up, then spank them, whoop them. You know, it's not necessarily go get that switch like back in the day, or go get an extension cord, or throw a shoe. You know, there's a right and a wrong way to discipline when it comes to spanking a child. And I do feel like they need to bring it back in the schools with the parents' consent, because that's a lot of one of the reasons why a lot of these children go to school and disrespect these children is because it starts at home. There is no discipline at home. These children have learned about calling the police on their parents, but what I've learned is not the police, it's the children's services that has the issue. The police will tell you to whoop your child, but they will do it for you.
Yeah, I've heard about
I
that type of
absolutely
stuff.
have nothing wrong with a parent disciplining their child. Just don't beat them. Don't punch them. Don't, you know, if you're gonna spank them the right way. All that timeout, those are the kids that you see in the store screaming and cussing and yelling at their moms and stuff. And I'm not saying that the whippings just solve the problems, but it tends to let the child know that you're not playing. This is what happens. You know, I know some of you guys know about standing in the corner with a book on your head and all that type of stuff. No, you have to discipline these kids.
I learned about all that stuff from other people, from like white people. I don't know. I never heard of no go in the corner. I never heard no timeout. You know what timeout was for me? You get your ass whooped, you gotta go in the room. Take your ass to the room. That was timeout for me.
Yeah, timeout came with something beforehand, but yeah. See, that's the thing about it. When you whoop a child, you got to understand that you can't do it with anger. Even if you know, a child is only sophisticated enough to process what it can. So when it does go off the tread and deserve some type of punishment, you got to understand that now you're an actor. You know, you need to convey what needs to be conveyed, but you can't do it with malice. You can't do it with hate. That's what's going to bring you over from whipping to beating. And that's what First Lady is talking about. You know, you got to have some restraint. That's still your loved one. That's still your child. And you know what? You can't just spank them every single time, because, you know, those kids will develop sort of like an immunity to it. You got to let them forget, and then you got to remind them. So, you know, that's what you got to do.
They also need to understand and know what they're getting their spanking for. I mean, you don't just go and they have to be able to understand, like, this is wrong and this is happening, and understand why it's wrong too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Somebody left a comment. Read that comment, please.
Oh, you talking about I know which comment what you talking about.
The one that's up now on the screen.
Oh, okay. I subscribed. I love the vibe, y'all. My whole family on drugs. I got a woman doing evil spell work against me because I left her, because I found her cheating. I got stalkers. It's crazy, y'all. But yeah, no, let me get. He got a few good comments, and he talked about so you know, haha, good old ass whoopings. What happened to those? And then check this out. Preach, First Lady. I graduated 2017 and drugs were everywhere. I mentor special needs kids, and some of these parents just let them be in a dark room on their phones. Rodden, also huge mental health. So, yo, this dude is really bringing some very good comments, and we appreciate you. And it's the truth. I mean, look,
props, man.
Yeah,
good looking out, man. We like you, participating with these good comments, bro.
That's right. So thank you, Big Frank Entertainment. But yes, you know, it's we, you know, parents have a responsibility. You know, children, teachers are not your babysitter. You don't just drop them off and just whatever. You know, you have you have a responsibility in the learning process to get them to where they need to get. So, you know, it's an active thing. So, you know, you got to be involved in all aspects of your children's lives. You know, we lost Floyd X, and he might be having some internet issues. So, you know, oh, there you go. What's happening? What you got to say about this brother Floyd
He
X?
just got a spanking.
My internet is The internet is killing me, man. It's like it's hard to hear y'all. So I'm just here. I'm trying to help out on the outline, but it's difficult for me right now. I gotta clean this computer up.
I hear you. So what you got to say? Yes, it's First Lady sitting there fighting with the sun. You might need to hit another
Yeah,
angle.
y'all see me, huh? I'm like over here challenging with
I see you working on it. But you got something to say about this, Brother Floyd X?
We're talking about whipping children.
Yeah, about whooping.
I am absolutely and completely against whipping children and dogs. Don't whip them. I mean, I used to whip my children, but when I look back, you don't have to whip your children. Maybe one whipping. I used to think that we got whipped all the time as a child, but when I look back, my pops only had to give me like 2 really good ass whippings, and I knew how to stay out of trouble. So
but it worked.
don't make it. It shouldn't be a normal whipping your children, in my opinion.
Yeah, you teach a lesson and then you refer back to that. It shouldn't be something that you have to continue to do. What are you about to say, First Lady?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I was getting at. Yeah. Like when you talk to your children, let them understand the purpose and why they're getting this whipping. Hopefully they won't do it again and you won't have to whip them. Like let them know, like if you did this is what's going to happen. Like, and you have to always let your children know you're not going to reward them for bad behavior. You know, and that's what a lot of parents do today. They still reward their children for bad behavior. And they let the my thing is the law didn't birth my children. So I'm gonna discipline my child. I'm not gonna beat them. I'm gonna discipline them. And I really never had to whip my children. They probably have got 1 or 2 whippers, or I probably have laid hands on them before. But I bet you, like Mr. X said, they got some act right in them. But you know, when they became adults, they became who they are. Period.
Let me straighten this up too. Only put my hands on my as they got a little older. Only had to whip my children, 2 of my 3 children, 1 time each. And but when they was little, toddlers, I ain't really whoop them, but I had to straighten their asses on out, because you gotta do that. You have to do that with a small child. You gotta straighten them out, and you gotta put that fear in them very young. You gotta make them understand.
I agree with that. And to me, it is this fear is a respect thing. They got to understand that, you guys aren't friends. You love them, but you have a different relationship with your children. And that was the thing about me. I was such a hard ass parent that I didn't have to go there, because I would be out and I would tell my daughter, hey, how many times I got to tell you to not do something? She'd go, 1 time. I go, exactly. So, I used fear. I used the threat, and, just because I was really violent, but I wasn't going to be particularly violent to my daughter, but, there was going to be consequences and repercussions, and she understood that. And I got a lot of flack. My parents didn't like it, outsiders, whatever. I don't care about that. I have responsibility to my kid. I go, look, it's between me and God. If I had the war, if I had the Ruby Ridge, if I had to do whatever to whatever who's got, it's gonna be that. So once people understood that, they go, well, yeah, we better stay out of that. So,
well, let me respond to this comment right here. What about that kid that won't get right? Well, let me tell you like this. Everybody has 2 sides of their brain. If you one of those kids that got that left side that ain't right, then you're going to have that right side that ain't left.
Hey, I'm from the Bill Cosby school of, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. My child is not going to be one of those mass shooters, whatever. If I can't get you to a place where I need to get you, if I see that you're going to be a problem, I will put you down. That's my responsibility. My child will not be a terrible influence to the world. So you're right. There's some kids that you just can't get right. Some kids are going to be bad. Walk used to talk about this. Some kids are just the devil's seed. And you know what? They require different responses, and we'll see how bad they are. Depending on how bad they are, they may need to get punished. They may need to get locked up. They may need to do whatever. But again, if I see you going too far, etc., etc. So is that it? We're kind of at the end.
I think so.
So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and I want to say something about Walk. That was your cue.
I was about to say he slept on that one. I just knew he was ready. Like you losing your touch.
Yeah, let me do it again.
I was
got
scrolling.
something
I
to
was
say about
trying to
Walk.
find it.
I got
Oh,
something
you
to say
was
about
just
Walk.
wrong.